Welcome to the Investment Blueprint. I am your host, Raghu Kumar from Rain Technologies. The Investment Blueprint is a podcast where I interview traders, investors, quants, and finance professionals with the goal of increasing financial awareness and financial literacy rates. Today, I interview Saurabh Sisodia from Quantify Capital. Quantify Capital is a quantitative research and trading firm with a strong focus on building quantitative investment and trading models to generate stable and consistent alpha. Saurabh is based in Mumbai and he founded Quantify Capital. So today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things. But first, Saurabh, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Raghu. Thank you for the opportunity. It's good to interact with you and it's good to see your enthusiasm.
Likewise, man. So I thought we could start with just like your general background. How did you get into trading?
Okay, so basically, like my family is into jewelry. Like no one in my family has ever, even like till date, no one has ever even bought a single stock. So I come from a Marwadi family, and like stock market is a taboo in my family. Like so, my family like the traditional jewelry business for years. So like I used to go to my dad's office. Like it's in 2010. I'm talking about 2010. So I just used to go with him. Then like there was my dad friend who was working in a good company, and like he was the VP of that company and he used to make good money. And he was telling me that like I'm trading derivatives and making money. So I at that point in time thought like, how could someone make money just by sitting in front of the laptop and just by clicking buy and sell? How can someone make money? So that got intrigued into the markets, and then I started reading more about the markets, how the markets operate, what are the markets are. So basically, I did a Google search. Then I found out about Warren Buffett, that he's the richest investor. So I started to learn about investing, but I soon realized that this is not my cup of tea, because this is not what trading is. Because he didn't tell me this is trading, so I thought no, this is not my cup of tea. So then I did my engineering from a Mumbai college, SP Sardar Patel Institute of Technology. After that, like I had a good maths background, and then I realized that I cannot basically study fundamentals and invest in companies. So then I started to look for jobs. So I basically became a cold emailer. I started to email a lot of people, and luckily I got an email from the head of trading desk of Barclays, Singapore. So he told me, okay, I'll get you connected with traders across Mumbai. So I went to their desk. I saw how they operate. So then I realized, okay, that you can make money without even knowing the fundamentals. So that's where I got intrigued into this. Then I started learning more about technical analysis. But soon I realized that no, this is completely discretionary. I was buying whenever I felt. So I thought that I need a more systematic way. So I thought that let me get some internship. So I started applying for internships. Then I did my first internship at a company called Arc Tech in BSC, Bombay Stock Exchange. And I got a very good experience, and like I realized the importance of system driven trading. And after that, like I like with my co-founder, we did a lot of research on how we can focus on this. So I started learning more about options, and then slowly I realized that this is what I want to do. This is what I enjoy. So basically, options trading then combined with system driven trading. So this is what like how we started, and like after like trading, we are like ventured into different businesses also. But the core focus has always remained trading, and like as I said, like from fundamentals to technicals, and then finally settling with algo trading and options trading as the key thing for us.
That's very interesting. So, one trait I found within traders is that they very early on know if they want to become a trader versus like a long term investor, right? So, in your case, you mentioned that you came across Warren Buffett and you kind of knew that you didn't want to become like an investor. How did that happen? I mean, was that a conscious decision? Like, do you remember how you made that decision?
So basically, the whole purpose when I got into trading was the money, right? So like we see how they show it in the pictures, oh, so much money and all. And like when I was when my dad friend came to the office also, like he was also talking about like how we buy, sell currencies, and we sell immediately. So that point I realized that I cannot buy and hold a company for that. There's a good strategy, but it's not suitable for me, because my focus was that I should be able to completely control the risk of what I'm doing. So that's when I realized that my temperament more lies in trading than an investor. So that's why I was more focused into trading. And like as I said, we come from Marwadi family, right? So we know that okay, itne mein liya, itne mein wapas bechna hai. So that mindset was always there. So if you see like even like if you get something, that's why I said like no temperament in the Marwadi family generally to invest in the stock market. They'll buy and they'll immediately sell. Okay, if they are getting profit, they'll sell. So that's what like when I came into trading, I realized that I need to build systems around it. Like okay, if how do I maximize profit? How do I minimize losses? But trading is something which I can control on my own. I can manage my risk. That's why I said like I got intrigued by options that you can completely manage your risk no matter what happens in the markets. So that's why like I realized that fundamental investing is not my cup of tea because I cannot like. And I also realized one thing that when inform like in the current era we have so much information that like everyone knows what is happening in the company. Earlier, like 20 years ago, like if you research on your own, oh, you had some upper edge. But now that information is readily available to everyone. But in trading, that is not the case. You can do your own back testing. You can learn small insights that will give you the edge and it will give you the consistent money. So that's when I realized that trading is something which I enjoy. And trading is like I realized earlier on only that it is like what that I actually want to be a trader. So that's why my sole focus was becoming a better trader, and luckily things have worked for me.
That's amazing. So, how did you eventually start Quantify Capital?
So it was 4.5 years ago. So as I said, like before starting Quantify Capital, I did few internships. I learned about options trading, and I already had a computer science background. So then I approached my friend, like who was a friend then, Abhishek Gaikwad. So he's a very close friend. So I told him, and he is a good techie. Like in fact, one of the smartest person in tech I know. Like I knew that if we start together, we can literally build anything in tech. So earlier the focus was trading our own capital only and building models for our own research. So that was a primary focus when we started Quantify Capital 4.5 years ago. But as soon as we started, like we realized that there's so much scope in other than trading. Like trading our own capital is there, but there are so much other synergies which you can explore and you can provide solutions to people. So when we started Quantify Capital, our own focus was trading our own capital, and till date, our primary focus is trading our own capital. But as we were trading our own capital, what happened is like I got approached by IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, and some of the largest trading houses of the country. So then we did algorithmic trading sessions for them. And like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, not many people were doing this. So when we started teaching them, we realized that there's a huge potential in this itself. Like people are willing to learn, people are willing to pay, and there's like this is just started in India. Like if you see in US, I think 70 to 80% volumes happen through algorithms. But India it's still around 50%, and there's much more scope in India. So that's what we realized that trading is has to be our main business, but definitely we can build other businesses around it. So we started with the algo trading course, which is a 5 month structured course in which we start from basics of Python and cover everything that is needed for a trader to become successful in the market. So we don't go very deep, but we know that what a trader needs. A trader needs okay, automating strategies, backtesting strategies, and knowing what the basics are and should be able to code on it in itself. So that's why we developed a structured course, which is a 5 month course, and we provide a dedicated mentor to each participant. And after this we realized that algo trading course, like if we are currently in the sixth batch and we started just last year, so the response has been good and we have spent zero money on any ad spends. But then we realized that this is also doing good, then let us also focus on basics, because a wider audience are people who don't know basics of options, people who don't know anything about the markets. So currently we are building a financial literacy platform, basically a edtech startup called FinSense, in which our core focus is building great content across like different topics in the market. So basically options trading. So we'll start from the basics and cover everything that is needed for you. Because when I started, I had to juggle around like okay, this doesn't work. I had like so basically I had to pay for the markets to learn. But now being in the market for so many years and like understanding what works, what not works, and in trading like you need a lot of practical experience also. Like okay, if you read something, but so for example you read about a bull call spread, but when you actually don't trade, you don't understand the intricacies. How does it work? How does the payoff work? So the plan is building on products, building on modules which like people can learn on their own and they can actually implement themselves. So we'll be soon launching, I think, in the next 2 months. But that's the core focus now. Basically, building a ad tech platform focused more on financial knowledge.
Got it, got it. No, what I appreciate about that is the fact that you guys are open minded and you're not just saying, I only want to trade. You're also willing to share your knowledge, and I think in that process, you'll probably benefit a lot, right? But let me ask you, what's your revenue model at Quantify Capital?
So as I said, like a major business, so the prop trading happens in their own personal account. So in my account and my partner account, so the prop trading happens in their own personal account. So that doesn't get counted in the company revenue. But for the company, the main source of revenue is the quantitative trading program, which is a 5 month course. So that is a major source of revenue. Other than that, we do offer some automation services, algo trading services, and so that is a complementary revenue. But the main source of revenue, I would say, is comes through the courses which we provide, and like that is also like a very structured course. The fees is on the higher side; it's 1 lakh plus. But as I said, things we offer are like basically like it's not a one month fee, it's a 5 month fee. You have a dedicated mentor, you have a dedicated portal, and like we cover a lot of aspects which we understand are required for a trader to be successful. So we have a lot of tests, a lot of assignments. So that is the main focus and that is the main source of revenue. And as I said, like going forward, like in the next few months, our major source of revenue would also come from the basic courses which are building around it. Because what we realize that for person who wants to learn algorithmic trading, he has to know the basics of like basically suppose basic he needs to be a basic trader. But now we realize that how do we grow the ecosystem ourselves? So for that growing the ecosystem, we have to teach them how to trade, teach them a lot of different things about the markets, and the perception needs to change about trading. Like if you still ask me, like people ask me, what do you do? So I say I trade in the market. So they say that is fine, but what do you do for work? So unless I was not coming on TV, they never took me seriously. So after I started coming on ET now CNBC, then they thought, okay, he must be doing something good. But before that, the perception was like this is gambling, this is not your business. But that perception is luckily slowly changing. People are realizing that if you follow systems, if you manage your risk, definitely trading can also be treated as a business. And that is our end goal. That like actually empowering people to make their own trading decisions, to make their own financial decisions, and not be like not to rely on anyone.
Right. That's amazing. And I really appreciate that. You guys have that, as one of your kind of mission statements, right? Um, so, a lot of our listeners are, newbies, right? They're just kind of looking to get into trading for the first time, and they probably don't know a lot about systematic trading. So for someone who's looking to get into trading and specifically like, systematic trading, what are some general suggestions you have for them?
So first of all, I would like to say like just study about basic price action in markets. You don't need to be an expert in technical analysis. Just basic price action. What is support? What is just basics, and then try to once you know this, then try to learn options trading. Because what major people do is because options definitely give you the edge. You can manage your risk. What people do is they directly start with futures with a stop loss, and most likely like they are unable to manage the risk. And in India, if you see the transaction charges are quite high on the futures. So, suggestion would be learn the basics of option. The Bible of Option Strategies by Guy Cohen is a good book to start with. It's a basic book which covers a lot of different strategies with the pros, cons, how the payoff works, and when to execute. So once you start with that, like once you know the basic options, once you know the basic price action, how price action works in the market, you can read any module on technical analysis for that. Once you know these two, then what you can do is I would suggest start with a limited set of instruments. So what major people do is like they try to trade everything that is moving, but that is unable to do. It's impossible to do because you have to understand how the instrument moves because every instrument moves in a different manner. Some like for example, every instrument has a different volatility. So you have to put stop loss according to the volatility. You have to trade that instrument according to the volatility. So if you see, I majorly trade only the Bank Nifty and like I've been trading Bank Nifty since the weekly options have started. So there's not a single day I've missed trading the Bank Nifty. So my focus, like my suggestion would be start with basics of price action, start learning options trading, and focus on 2 or 5 liquid instruments. So if you see the Nifty 50 list is the liquid basically because if you see in India still options are not liquid, especially stock
Right.
options. So
Stock options. Yeah.
focus on that only because I would like to give an example. So it was in 2014 I was trading Just Dial. So I had good quantity around 400 lot short, basically call option short, and I just wanted to capture time decay. So it was 314, 315, and I was already in a good profit of 1.5 lakhs. At 319 at 320, I see my loss was 20 lakhs. In 1 minute, I lost almost 20 lakhs. And I thought this
Yeah.
is a bug by Zerodha, because I was like, how can I lose? Because the instrument was at 485. I had sold a 500 call option. How can I lose money? Then I realized that my quantity was so huge and it was on MIS. So I squared it off and there was no liquidity. So the option from point 0.5 rupees got bought till 11 rupees. So my suggestion is, don't avoid this mistake, because like at that point of time I did not realize how liquidity can affect me. But it's, if you trade illiquid options, you can enter but you cannot exit. So focus would be learn basics of options, learn basics of price action, and then select few two three instruments and whatever strategy you are planning. Suppose you're planning a trend following. Okay, if I buy above yesterday high is broken, so just back test, or even if you don't know coding, you can at least manually go through the charts, see okay this happened on that day. And my also suggestion would be, like, as people are evolving, like a lot of data is coming, you can at least learn basic coding. A lot of free courses online on Udemy, Coursera. At least start learning basics of Python. At least you can do some basic analysis. If I ask you, so let me give you one data point. The probability, so we did this on S&P, the probability of price going higher than 4% from open in case of S&P intraday is only 0.75%. So if you have this data point also, you won't buy S&P when it's already a 4%, because you know that the probability is only 0.75%. So basically, if you see when the high and low of the day is made, so we did analysis that majority of the time the high of the day is made in the first hour or the last 1 hour. So if you know this, such insight, you know okay when to execute, when to exit. So focus would be, like I would say, focus on selected instruments, focus on selected strategies. So try to be a master of one rather than being jack of all. So what people do is they try to trade each and everything, and that is what I used to also do. I used to trade Bank Nifty, lot of stocks, and when I used to see my M2, I did not understand from where the loss is coming or the profit is coming, because there are so many open positions. So now the focus is clear. So again, like if to summarize, focus on basics of options, focus on, so you can read Bible of Option Strategies by Guy Cohen. Then focus on basic price action. You can read Rainer TO videos on YouTube, or you can read his books, like small modules are there. And after that, select few instruments which you like to trade. See the liquidity should be decent, basically from the Nifty 50 space if you are trading the derivatives. And build one or two rule based strategies. Basically rule based, I mean, like, you have a system to it. Do not, okay, today I'll buy Reliance. No, but should have a logic to it, why I'm buying Reliance today or why I'm selling it, right? So basically do few back testing. Even if you don't know coding, manually you can go to charts. Okay, on this day signal was triggered, if I had taken a trade, note it. And also, as I said, meanwhile you can start learning coding, so that you can at least get some more insights, some more back testing metrics, so that you're able to judge your system better. So that's it,
Yeah.
like my suggestion to you.
Makes sense. Makes sense. In terms of your trading style and your trading philosophy, what does that encompass?
So I'm majorly a non-directional player.
Okay.
So I'm not a great trend follower. I majorly, so basically our core style is trying to capture time decay and trying to capture volatility. So our major focus, as we have weekly options in India, the time decay is also very steep. So we focus majorly on the index options and try to capture time decay by creating non-directional strategies and trying to manage the risk. So I've already made few videos also on that, and like
Okay.
done few sessions with face to face with Vivek Bajaj and also Learn app. So I've discussed what the core of non-directional trading is. I've given data points also why you should do non-directional trading, and like I've explained in a systematic manner. So basically, if you see since last 12 years, for the week, the Bank Nifty range is within 5%. So this gives
Hmm.
you a insight that for the last 12 to 14 years, Bank Nifty 80% of the time remains within the 5% range for the week. So even if you
Hmm.
sell 5% options away, most likely they'll expire OTM. But the key is how do you manage your risk? So I've
Sure.
explained that in pretty much detail, how why you should trade non-directional and the benefits of non-directional. And one thing which I realize is that theta decay is universal, right? No matter how many people trade it, no matter how many systems like people are following it, the edge will always be there. Like the decay could reduce, but the edge will always be there. And the options, if they are OTM, they have to expire worthless. So
Right.
that is like my main philosophy, that okay, this is a edge that will always remain with me, and this is if I manage my risk. So the key in options trading, I would say, is managing your risk. They say that options trader eats like a chicken but shits like an elephant. So if you don't manage your risk, if you don't
I've heard
manage,
that
because I
before.
have
Yeah.
seen options, I have seen
Yeah.
1 rupee options going to 2,000 rupees. So if you So if you don't manage your risk, even one losing day could take years of profit. So that was the advice to any new trader. Options trading definitely like can give you consistent money, but the key is managing your risk and knowing when to get out. So focus on that. Option selling is a good business and good way. If you done properly, you can make consistent income. But the key is risk management.
So let's talk about risk management, right? Let's kind of expand upon that. What are some general good concepts when it comes to risk management in terms of like stop losses and bet sizing and things like that?
Yeah. So first would be like, so what happens with major beginners is like they immediately take a trade without realizing how much they want to risk it. So like suppose they buy a stock, and when the stock starts falling, they'll buy a stock, and when the stock starts falling, they'll realize, where should I exit? Like they don't have any proper plan in place. So the first thing is never open any trade without knowing the initial risk. So if you're taking a trade, you should already, because see, we don't trade our opinions, right? We trade what the market is telling us. So we manage our risk. So basically, when you take a trade, always know what is the amount you could lose. Like so, basically, what is your stop loss? So and people also like one thing the mistake they do is they keep a affordable stop loss. The stop loss should be logical, not affordable. So if someone who's buying a stock at 100, they'll keep a stop loss at 99 because they think they only want to lose 1 rupee. But the logical stop loss could be 98. So the stop loss, basically, the definition of stop loss is that the trend in your time frame changes when the stop loss is hit. So stop loss for an investor could be pretty big, for a stop loss for a trader could be pretty small. So first rule would be never open any position without knowing the initial risk. So always know what is your stop loss before taking any trade. And suppose once you know the stop loss, so for example, a stock is at 100 and you know the stop loss is 95. So you know that you are willing to you lose 5 rupees. And suppose you want to risk 1000 rupees. So you'll buy 200 quantity. So
Right.
basically, never is more than 1 or 2% of your capital on any trade. So on your stop loss, automatically your position size will change. So suppose if the stop loss is 10 rupees and you're still willing to lose 1000 rupees, you'll only buy 100 quantity. If the stop loss is 100 points, you only take 10 quantity. So this is something which people need to understand, that as your stop loss becomes deep, so when the volatility in the market increases, automatically your position size reduces. But the
Reduces, right?
amount you lose is still fixed.
Exactly,
So
right.
so these are the few rules I follow. Never open any position without knowing the initial risk. Always risk less than 1% or 2% of your capital on any single trade, no matter how sure you are, even if you're 100% sure, because you don't know what will happen. And depending on your 1% risk, calculate your position sizing. So, for example, if you're buying a stock at 100, the stop loss is 95, and you're willing to lose, suppose you have 1 lakh capital, you're willing to lose 1000 rupees. So if you have 1000 rupees and your stop loss is 5, so basically you can buy up to 200 quantity. If your stop loss is 10, you can buy only 100 quantity. So this is if you follow properly and consistently. I think risk management is already taken care. And one thing I want to highlight is if you lose 10%, you need 11% to break even. If you lose 20%, need 25% to break even. But if you lose 50%, you need 100% just to break even.
Right.
So basically, so if the this is the key in keeping drawdowns in control, that always limit your losses.
Makes sense.
So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really helpful, and I like that kind of inverse correlation between your stop loss and the position size, right? I think oftentimes people make that mistake and they first define the position size and then they determine the stop loss, right? So that makes a lot of sense. So another question I had for you, right? Since you've been trading for so long, are there any memorable trades or events that kind of come up when it comes to maybe you made a lot of money or you lost a lot of money very quickly, and any learnings from that?
yes, so basically it was in 2014, August 2014. So I was heavily short on Just Dial. So I done a lot of research on Just Dial, and so basically we created bots to see how the Alexa rank is falling, and then we saw SEC 13F filings to see that a lot of US hedge funds are exiting. So had a lot of data inside that Just Dial could fall in the short term. So I was heavily short, and in fact, Just Dial in 1 month cracked almost 40%, and I made almost 300% of my capital in just 1 month. So but after that, the major learning came after that. So I would say this was a lucky trade and I went lucky. But after this trade, I thought that I was God. I could trade anything and everything. So after that, I started to take wild risks because I had a lot of profit cushion. So then I was taking a lot of random trades. So as I said, like after the incident I spoke about, I lost 20 lakhs in 1 minute. That happened after this incident only, next month.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
and then I took a trade in HPCL, BPCL. So basically, I learned something called pair trading. And when I took the first 3, 4 trades, all gave money. So I was like, this is a very good strategy. It's a market neutral strategy. I'm long in one, short in another. How can I lose money in this? So I was not taking big quantity, but as 3, 4 trades worked in favor, the next trade I did with almost 20 times of my initial position size. So I was like, because there's no risk in this. So I was basically uh, short HPCL and long BPCL. But what happened is HPCL announced some dividend and it opened with a gap up and BPCL was down. So basically, next day only I had a decent loss, almost 1-2% of my capital. And that loss kept on widening for the entire month. And for the entire month, I did not take a single trade. In fact, I used to go online and see is there any bad news in HPCL that would make the stock fall. So I was so like anchored to that trade that I could not even look for other opportunities. So
For
this
other
was my
opportunities,
biggest
right?
mistake, and in fact, my biggest learning that once the trade is over, you have to move on and look for other opportunities because you cannot be thinking about that trade. It did not work. So when the odds in our favor, you take the risk. But if the trade doesn't work out, you have to get out and look for new opportunities. So that entire 1 month, if I would have traded something else, I maybe have like recovered my loss as well. So I was so anchored to the trade. So in fact, after that trade, I took a break for few months. I realized that this is not I want to do trading. This is stressful. So I wanted. So that's why I like ventured into more systematic trading. That I don't have to worry about the basically I don't have to worry that what will happen. So now when I
Your
take a trade, I'm
emotions, right? Yeah.
yeah, I'm relaxed because I know even if the profit comes, it's fine. Even if the loss happens, it's a part of the game. So I would say losses teach you more in the market than profits, and I'm lucky that I made these losses in the early part of my career when my position sizing, my capital was still limited, so that I could learn everything at that point of time. And like so these are learnings for me that okay, like so I never takes the market lightly, like no matter even if it's 315 or 318 when the markets are about to close, still I always manage my risk because I have seen in the last 5 minutes also stocks falling 5%, 10% due to some news.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say more than the biggest wins, the biggest losses give you lessons. And if you see, the core point of all is knowing when to get out and knowing what to risk. So if you take risk as traders, we have to take risk as traders. We are exposed to so many different kind of risks which are not even our control. So like one day NSC was down, right? That risk is not in our control.
Yeah.
But as
Yeah.
traders, we have opted for this, right? It's not that we cannot complain that oh NSC is not working. So we have to manage our risk. So I would say if we manage our position size, if we manage our risk, and if we take the trades when the odds are in our favor, I think that's what a trader needs, and learning from their own mistakes. So if you see, like every trader, I would recommend that you create your own trading journal every day. So after market, like 3:30 to 4, you can note, okay, what happened today? What did I do wrong? Is there something I can improve on? I can guarantee that still, like even if you have been in years of the market, there's something you should keep learning because markets are also constantly evolving. So I would say that if you keep on doing this, like you'll get a lot of insights about what instruments you're trading and like how they behave, about small insights about your trading strategies.
Makes sense. So your style has basically evolved over the years, right? Because you kind of, describe it right now as you were more of like a discretionary trader, although you were using data, right? You mentioned the Alexa example. You were looking at the Alexa rankings, and then you made that decision to short just style. But now I think you're fully systematic, right? So how has that evolved over the years? And now are you completely, fully algo?
Yes. So as I said that earlier, like when you were discretionary, you don't know how much to bet on any trade, right? Like sometimes when you feel the trade is good, you'll bet with the more position sizing. When you feel the trade is not good, you'll bet at the limit position sizing. And you won't take all trades, right? You take trades only which you feel would work out, right? But it happens the opposite. The trades which you feel don't work out, they work out better.
Didn't work out, right?
So
Yeah.
yes. So over the years, what we did is so basically we have two systems. So first is trend following, which is completely automated, which is like the trades are automatically taken. So when the market opens, the API connection happens, and automatically the trades are done through algos. The other system is non-directional trading, in which I would say it's semi-automated, in which the process is automated. Basically, what to do? Like okay, Bank Nifty opens here, we would sell this put, this call. This would be our stop loss. But as I said, the delta management which is there, it is manual because you need to check the liquidity in real time, because in options, as I said, the liquidity is not uniform across all strikes. So the delta management is basically manual, but the process is completely. So I trade in the same manner every day. Like, it's not that I'll think what to do today. So I'll do the same thing no matter what is happening in the market today. So the process is basically the non-directional process is completely systematic. What to do, how to manage your risk, and when to put a stop loss. I've also made a detailed video on this. So anyone wants to like read about that, like learn about that, systematic with proper data driven, like it's completely data driven. So that has been done. And as I said, futures trading is completely automated, because in futures trading the goal is to maximize the profits when they are like in your favor, to ride the trend. And if you are there in front of the screen, you cannot do that, because when a big trend happens, you always have the urge to, oh, it can reverse from here, let me book here, right? But if the algos are taken there, they'll ride the trend till it's intact. So if you see in the Indian markets also, since like last few months, the uptrend has been pretty solid. So if you were running a long only system, you would have made good money. But if you were like preempting that, okay, at 17,000 the market could reverse, at here the market could reverse, then you would have been out of the trade. So I would say, but and also I would say that everyone should know what the psychology is. So I am not a good futures trader. That's why I automated the futures part, because I don't want, like, I'm not a good trend follower, but I am a decent non-directional player. So I take things in my control when I'm trading non-directional, build a rule-based system, and manage my risk. So people need to realize what their psychology is, what suits them, and then accordingly they need to allocate their position capital to different strategies.
Got it. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So obviously, you've seen how algo trading has evolved in India over the past, like probably 5 years, right? Um, how has it evolved, and also where do you think it's going over the next 5 years?
I think there's a lot of scope in algo trading. If you see, as I said, like our initial like traction came from large prop trading houses, and these desks were already making good money, and like they were one of the largest trading desks in India. So, but still they had the urge to learn algo trading because they realized this is what the future is. So I would say that, like, with the, because with so many things coming up, with y'all are also building so many products with Rain Technologies, I think algo, like, because the algo marketplace is something I would say is needed, and that would completely change the algo trading industry in India, especially because if you see in India, still people are not using algos, still not using data. But I see 5 years down the line, I would say even in our markets, 80 to 90% trades would be done through algos. And I would say it's like, it's when do you accept it, right? It's happening. So you have to, the earlier you embrace it, the earlier you get ready for it, the better the results would be. So I would say that's why I say to most people that even if you're a hardcore trader, it's fine. At least know something about like basics of coding, how you can basically automate your strategy, how you can use data, because now or later, like somewhere in next 5 years, you will have to do this. So so I would say it's a like good scope. And what Rain Technology is also doing, like in the algo marketplace, I think like it's gonna be a pretty big hit soon. And like once it hits the market, once people started to use it, because for those who don't know coding, those who do not know how to do this, for them it's a simpler way to get the access to those technologies.
Exactly, right. And it's the future, right? Because oftentimes what happens is when there's a trend happening in the US, right, and other quote unquote more developed markets, right, those trends come to India, right? So I totally agree with you on that. So last question for today, Sarah. I'm sure we'll have other conversations in the future, right? Where do you see yourself and quantify capital going in the next 5, 10 years?
So talking about myself, so I see myself as a more mature trader, managing decent amount size and trading, I would say, not only in India, across different markets globally. And we already started that. So that is for my focus is that. But other than this, like my focus for the company is, as I said, to build good content and impart financial education across the country. And we plan to reach 100K users in the next few months, and in the next
Wow.
5 years, I would say 1 million plus is our target. And we are slowly, that's why I'm building my YouTube community and a good following on Twitter, LinkedIn. And I so basically I would say becoming an influencer is a new trend, right? So if you can generate good content, provide good content and good value, people are willing to pay if the content is good. So the focus for the company is basically creating a model basically where you can impart financial education. We initially start with what we know, and sooner and later we'll get, if we have users, obviously we can get other content creators, we give them the platform, they get the users. So it's a win-win for both of us, and that is our end goal, and like we are working towards it, and hopefully like in next few months we'll launch also.
That's amazing, man. So what I'll do is we will include all the information, for your channels in our YouTube description, right? So that's going to be available. And I completely agree with you. I think also what this allows you to do is it allows you to kind of, network and build that ecosystem out, right? And I really like what you guys are doing. Keep it up, and I'm sure our listeners are going to love this conversation. So thanks for the time.
Thank you, Raghu, and all the best for Rain Technologies. And I think with your previous experience with Upstocks, this is also going to be a super hit. And like how you scaled Upstocks, I think this is also going to reach every broker, and like mostly all Indians, all traders would be using it. So all the best with Rain Technologies, and wish you all the good luck.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.